Hello and welcome to Wrestle Talk with Arabbidb3aver. I am your host, the elusive Arabbidb3aver, and joining me today is the very special, one-of-a-kind himself, Mr. Scotty B from the School of Morton. And let me tell you what, he's got something special to talk about tonight, and we definitely want to get into it. First of all, thank you for coming and agreeing to be here today. My fans and myself have definitely got some questions for you. We want to know if you're ready, sir.
It is my pleasure to be here, and hey, fire away. That's what I'm here for.
Excellent, Mr. Scotty B. I really appreciate you coming in and being here with us tonight. Let's start off by this. Goodness gracious, it's been one of those days.
It has.
How did you get into the wrestling business? Who broke you in? Who trained you? And what was it like the first year being in the business?
Well, all right. So just like probably you and every other wrestling lover out there, I grew up watching wrestling, loved wrestling. My brother and I wrestled with all the neighbor kids in the backyard, mom and dad screaming, "Don't do that. You're going to break something." We did anyway. So we grew up going to shows at the Norfolk Scope back in Norfolk, Virginia, where I'm from. And of course, NWA was the main attraction. That's what was always there. WWF started to come much later, and they maybe came twice by this point. Of course, now it's every year. My brother and I, oddly, he's 3 years younger, but we went to college together in Western North Carolina. And we would see shows when we could and stuff like that. And oddly enough, I went to a local show over in Gastonia, North Carolina, that was run by Italian Stallion. Of course, I went to school for music and I did lots of theater and acting. And so I'm like, yeah, I got some free time. Let me help out. That turned into Italian Stallion showing me how to take a bump, how to get my first moves in, and basically beat the crap out of me. That's how that goes down usually with style. And after that, of course, I would off and on do different things. I didn't see myself originally as a person who is going to do this, right? And really invest myself in it for a livelihood and for fans' enjoyment. But after college, and I moved to East Tennessee, started doing a lot of theater and stuff. And next thing I know, Kerry Morton comes walking through the door auditioning for a show. And I had worked with him a little bit. And then a show I was directing, a rock musical called Rock of Ages, which y'all may have seen the movie. He came in and auditioned, and so did his mother, Andrea. And I got to be really good friends with them. And of course, I had known Ricky off and on, but as we got together, we got to be really close. And Ricky did the opening voiceover montage for us. And hey, I'm opening up this school. You need to come check it out. And one thing led to another, and here I am.
Well, Mr. Scotty, coming from humble beginnings to the School of Morton as one of the heads of creative, how has the journey been so far?
It's been really interesting. When I first got in there, I was primarily coming in to help do some acting coaching, right? And promo coaching and really work on wrestlers' characters. Do you believe what you're seeing? Do you, is it a bunch of crap? That kind of stuff.
Right.
And that turned into a lot of things very quick because, again, having about 25 years in and out of some knowledge, it made it much, much easier, I guess, to adapt. Now, while I still do those things and having worked cameras and stage and movie and TV sets, it's so much easier to teach that. But to go in on the writing side, putting some stuff together, trying to make the shows what the content needs to be to really attract the fans and work in social media, that was a lot. And I'm still doing a ton, as I know we're going to talk about here in a little bit, but it's been an absolute blast of a journey. I would love to say, man, I wish I'd have stuck with this 25 years ago when I started, because it's a crazy industry, but it is so much fun. And getting to meet people everywhere you go the fans that come to see you. Man, there's nothing like it.
And people get to know you. They know who you are. They know who you are on a level that you don't even think. Like they're super fans out there that know, when you were born, and they know everything about you from the get go. And you just you're amazed at how these people find you sometimes.
Oh yeah, and you'll have someone walk up to you at an event. And this happened last month. Hey, Scotty, good to see you again. I'm like, I don't know who you are. I forgot. I mean, I just don't know. Yeah, good to see you, buddy. But they do. They find out the weirdest things about you that you don't really tell people, and they find it, and you're going, how did you know that?
Yeah, I didn't tell anybody this stuff.
I don't have a Wikipedia page. What are you doing?
Yeah, Mr. Scotty, that's such a unique thing about the business, and people are actually attracted to the business side of it. They're also attracted to your personal side of it. Now, we know the cat's out of the bag in professional wrestling, so to speak, quote unquote.
Sure.
Kayfabe is almost dead, not quite dead, but it's almost dead because of different shows that have come out and shown you the actual lifestyles and things. How do you feel about that being with social media today and how it relates to wrestling?
It's really hard because if it was two separate groups where you had wrestling fans that were not your friends and family, it's a little easier to maintain the balance between them. But it's not like that at all. Social media has intertwined everything in our lives. As you and I have been talking throughout the day, I just got off work a few minutes ago, and everybody I work with all over the country, they know what I do, and they watch the channel, and they watch me in the ring. They watch me making a fool of myself, or whatever the case may be. So it's really hard to keep, like you were saying, the kayfabe vibes that were there 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, even into the kind of early 90s, and really have the same buy-in that they normally would, right? And so even when fans watch NWA, AEW, WWE, TNA, any of that, you have to work harder when you're in the business to really get people to immerse themselves and just let go. Yeah,
to sell it. You have to sell it.
Secrets. Okay, cool. But what about this? And so we're constantly working on new ways to really provide the audience with that chance to just dive in, and just accept reality like it is for a few minutes.
Well, speaking of that, we know that you had a show that just recently got rescheduled. Would you like to talk about that for just a few moments?
We can. Originally,
Absolutely.
guys, tomorrow, September 27th, was supposed to be our SOM Overdrive in Hendersonville, North Carolina, which, as you see there, massive main event. And man, I'll talk about that in a second. But unfortunately, due to Hurricane Helene coming through and lots of flooding that's already happened in Hendersonville, North Carolina, we're pushing it back. We already have the new date. Breaking news, October 31st, Halloween, will be in Hendersonville. So
that's a great name for a show.
Yeah.
Halloween in Hendersonville, baby.
That's right. So hopefully everything's going to stay the same. The massive main event that I really was looking forward to was Buff Bagwell was coming in. If you've ever worked with Buff, man, I tell you, I mean, he's jacked. What a great guy, but he doesn't put up with crap, right? And so he was going to be in the corner of RT3, Casey Kazana, and Blade Gibson to take on the Industry. Sean Cruz, Hunter Wolf, and Sam Street in a 6-person tag match with Maya Ferrari in the Industry's corner. And we know how that usually ends when Ferrari is in the corner. Usually no good can come from that, as we've seen in the past with the Industry, with James
the
Anthony.
Godfather of the Industry has a saying, right? He says you can either kiss the hand or kiss the canvas. And with her in his corner and at his side, I think there's been a lot of people who've been kissing the canvas here recently.
They really have. And, don't let Maya Ferrari fool you, okay? She seems like this petite, beautiful as she is, gentle soul, she's not. She's vicious. She wants her team to win, and she has no problem going out there and making it happen. And we've seen a huge turnaround with Sam Street as well. I mean, Sam Street has taken on this whole new level of almost pure evil. She enjoys hurting people now.
It's almost diabolical in the way that she has attacked people here recently.
And it really is. And it's not going to stop anytime soon when you've got Sean Cruz and Hunter Wolf there, because they're going to keep egging it on. That's what they do. So, and yes, many times they've been attacking RT3. They've already had RT3 and Blade at the Greene County Fair, had a match with Sean Carson at the time, who they threw out of the industry as a result of, kind of losing. And enter Casey Kazana, kind of from left field, someone who used to be Gen 3 Express. Of course, he's Country Gentleman. He's NWA.
He's all over.
He is.
And JPWA. I mean, he's all of it, baby. He's got it all.
And when he's in all my brain just completely went out, but all of the regional NWA promotions he's around with, and he's traveling constantly. But he made a change, and he realized, and I really believe for the good, he realized, you know what? These fans are actually what helped me. And so I'm going to start being a little more giving, right? Giving back to the people who give to me. And Casey, to his credit, turned his back right on Evan Golden, who was supposed to face him this night, but Evan ducked out.
I am so glad you mentioned this, because I have to ask you about the Golden Child, Evan Golden, and Gen 3 Express and what's going on. Do you really think he's ducking out on Casey Kazana to avoid losing that East Tennessee Championship?
100%.
100%.
Here's the thing. Evan Golden is super talented. He really is. He can go probably toe-to-toe with some of the best out there. Yes, he has 3 belts right now. We know. He posts about it every day. But I'm telling you, he's possessive of those. He will duck out if he thinks he might possibly ever have a shot of losing one. And Casey and he were pretty close, but now they're not. And Evan's ego is not going to let him just hop in the ring with Casey anytime.
But you got to think, is it pure genius on his part? You're calling it ducking out. But let's say you take a count out in a match. Is it pure genius on his part because he knows he can't lose the title if he takes a count out, quote unquote?
Sure. Then why not have the match?
Absolutely. That's a great question to ask. And I guess the only one that can answer that one is going to be the Golden Child himself.
Well, you bring that up, and that brings up a great point, because Evan and Casey and Michael Gabriel were a really tight unit for quite some time. Like I mentioned, Casey kind of saw what was going on, saw the error of his ways, if you will, and helped ICT of all groups, right? The ones that took the tag belts from Gen 3. Since they were supposed to wrestle at Overdrive tomorrow night, I have found a little loophole in all of Evan's stuff.
Ooh.
Now, November 3rd, our opening show at our new building, which we're going to get to later, we've got Fright Night. It is mandatory Evan Golden defend the East Tennessee Championship against Casey Kazana, or Evan Golden's gone.
Wow. What a stipulation, Scotty B. Well, we have to ask, since we're already on the subject, we have to ask you, do you think there's somebody that might be more deserving of that championship? Let's say one Tank or one RT3 or one Amp Dominic, by the way, who may have the biggest claim to that title, being cheated at the Greenville Fairgrounds. Yeah. Do you think somebody might be more deserving of it?
Well, I don't know about more deserving. As deserving, yes. Amp is definitely owed a rematch. Unfortunately, shortly after that, Amp has been traveling, doing his thing, wrestling all over the country as well. Makes it a little hard just to show back up, right?
I don't know if he's wrestling. He's all over the Milky Way, baby. He is everywhere.
Look, I've learned with Amp, you just smile and go with it. You know, I don't know.
You have to. He's crazy.
I'm not getting in that bubble, man. I'm just not. Tank has put up a great fight. He got to wrestle EC3. So did RT3. So did Blade Gibson. So did Draco, for that matter. So there's a lot of ways this could go. But here's the way I look at it. KC Kazana, Evan Golden have a history. Yes, we need to get into this and try to sort whatever out that we can. But the Kazanas and Dr. Tom, they have a long history with that East Championship belt.
They're real tight.
So to me, it's a family thing. Of course, I want KC to have the opportunity. But if KC didn't deserve it or hadn't have earned it, I wouldn't give it to him. Never.
Well, that's just the question. There's a lot of people who have asked, does Casey really deserve the shot? But I believe a couple weeks ago in August, he gave Evan Golden the opportunity, and not only gave him the opportunity, but gave him a title. Is that not correct?
He did. The very last night, well, actually it was Revolution after our Rock and Roll Invitational Tag Tournament, because KC and AJ won it at the Greene County Fair. They won the tag belts. And as a gesture, AJ's so busy, he's not going to sit around School of Morton just to defend that title when he's triple, quadruple booked everywhere in the country. He will wrestle with us every time he can, but it's a lot. They proved a point with ICT that night. So they turned around and gave Michael Gabriel and Evan Golden the belts. And what happened? They dropped them.
They dropped it.
Almost instantly. ICT's that good. But I think Evan Golden's current issue is he underestimates everybody. And I think that really helped KC open his eyes.
I think that Casey has what it takes to gain that championship. I just don't know if he can outsmart the Golden Child enough to do it. I think that the Golden Child, Evan Golden, has the brain, the brawn, and the fight in him to keep this thing maybe another year if he really wanted to. But there's got to be something that's going to happen. See, because he's defending, like you mentioned, 3 different titles, 3 different championships all over. So fatigue is going to come into play at some point in time, and he's going to forget all about it. And when it does, it will be the right time for Casey Kazana to strike.
Absolutely. And when will that be? That's a great question. And what role is Michael Gabriel going to play in all this? Because Michael's in that awkward position that he's in, right? And he's got his own agenda going on. Is it the end of Gen 3? Is Michael Gabriel going to help him? Is something else happening? And just like we saw at the Greene County Fair with Amp Dominic, Evan has no problem bringing his dad.
Well, that brings a great point, because Casey should have no problem bringing his brother if there is interference in any way, shape, form, or fashion. So, Casey, I know you're watching. You got to do it, baby. If he starts interfering in any way, the big brute has to come out of the closet at some point in time. And let me tell you, that's a sellout show any day of the week.
Absolutely. And I don't know what's going to come of all of this, right? I just know that we've tried to have this title match and things have come up. Evan can't do it. He's got to do this. Hey, great. I've already checked his calendar. I've locked him in for Sunday, November 3rd. It's going to happen.
And we're looking forward to it. Sunday, November 3rd. You heard it here first on Wrestle Talk with Arabbidb3aver. You guys want to be at the School of Morton when this goes down. Now, we've got to move on just a little bit. The School of Morton has some of the best talent in the world currently working for them. And recently, y'all have made some changes, a new look, a new trainer, lots of things, anything and everything in between. What is your favorite thing about the new School of Morton?
It hasn't happened yet.
Oh,
And that's because the past over 10 years in Chucky have really grown and done a lot of stuff. But here we are in a new era. We're not quite ready to open the doors. We've had some great trainers. And of course, Ricky and Carrie are in and out all the time. They're going to be in with us a lot more, as well as you just shared. Kenzie Page, the NWA Women's Champion, is going to be our lead trainer.
absolutely.
And her assistant is Casey Kazana.
And let me show that again for everybody that missed it. So it was up on the screen just a second ago. But as you see right here, they have a new training program that actually starts the 30th of September is what they're advertising for right here. And as he just mentioned, Casey Kazana, you've got Kenzie Page, you've got Carrie Morton, and you've got Ricky Morton, all going to be under the toolage there. You definitely want to be able to check that out. Now, is the phone number still good? Is it still 423-297-7623?
That's correct.
Why don't you give them a call today, because they will get you hooked up. And within 12 weeks, I do believe, if I'm telling the truth, 12 weeks is what we've got going on here. You can have some of the best training in wrestling whatsoever.
Absolutely. And, in addition to the new wrestler training, which is what this is going to be on Mondays and Wednesdays, we've got other training on Thursdays. Not going to tell you everybody just yet, because there's a lot of stuff going on, and it kind of changes almost every day with how we're tweaking stuff. EC Dangerously and myself are going to be doing promo workshops, promo classes, and how to work on TV. And I'm sure Casey's wonderful brother AJ is going to make an appearance or two, plus a lot more.
See, I'm really glad that you mentioned EC Dangerously, because I forgot all about him. Now, he is currently your ring announcer, right? One of your ring announcers?
He is our lead commentator, yeah.
Lead commentator. So I apologize. I got that wrong. Lead commentator. And the man does a fantastic job for your YouTube, which you can catch him at Ricky Morton on YouTube. That's all you have to do. And the School of Morton, search it directly, and you can find it right there. And listen to the way that man commentates the matches. He puts his heart, he puts his soul, he puts everything into it. And that is one of the best reasons why you want to be a part of it, because if you have somebody that believes in you that much, that can put that much heart into it for you to call your matches and to make sure that you're getting everything that you need, imagine what he would do outside of the wrestling business for you. That's a huge thing for you guys that you've got working for you. We're very excited for the School of Morton. As soon as you get into your new place, please let us know. We definitely want to come. But we've got to ask you, who is your hottest and favorite talent? Is it Sean Cruz, the ice cream truck, dump truck, and Squeaks the Clown, Bronson Garrett, Casey Kazana, Ricky or Carrie Morton, Michael Gabriel, RT3, Devin Belcher, Luke Fury? Who is it we got to know?
So me personally is what you want to know.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, that's kind of hard, because all of them have a lot of talent. If I'm looking at, let's just take the past 4 or 5 months for the moment. You have someone who has absolutely worked his tail off beyond anyone his age, and dove in to places where you look at him and you're going, he shouldn't be able to do this. He shouldn't be able to do it at all. And that's Blade Gibson.
Wow. That's a surprise.
Because now, is he the toughest, the strongest? Maybe not. But I will tell you that the kid works harder than almost anybody I've ever met. Now, don't get me wrong. You've got Casey Kazana, who's been in the business 2 years, and look what he's done. He's gone so far, and I almost let something slip I wasn't supposed to. He's going to laugh at me there. But he's gone so far in 2 years as a young NWA superstar. Who does that, right? It's so hard to do. Devon Belcher, Connor Martin, all up-and-coming young stars. You've got Squeaks and Truck, who are massive, strong human beings. You've got RT3, who has done so much over the past 7 or 8 years and has so much left for him. You know, there's so many ways you can answer the question. But I have to believe, when I go back to the EC3 seminar that we had in July after the Greene County Fair, and you can see this on our YouTube channel as well, you can see the promo that Blade cut that earned him the title match with EC3. And he talked so much about his dad. And both his dad and his mom were both in the industry. And unfortunately, his dad passed several years back. But what a love for the industry. His whole family's got it. Man, they're just, I'm telling you, the most grounded family, but so engaged. But Blade cut the promo of his life, and he let himself be vulnerable and powerful at the same time. And EC3 saw something in him. And even talking with EC3 after that, he's, man, the kid's got places to go. And yeah, he's smaller. He's even smaller than Rey Mysterio. But you know what? He's working on that. And I'm so proud of him. You know, I'm proud of all of our guys. Yeah, I could easily go for the 7-foot Hunter Wolf. He's huge. All he's got to do is step on you. You know, you're done. Sean Cruz has been around for over 20 years and been kicking tail all over the place. Roosevelt, another fantastic choice. But you're going to make me pick, and I saw that, and I've got to say right now, Blade Gibson has not only got the talent, he's got the fans, and he's got the fire.
Well, it's very interesting because you mentioned something. You mentioned that he's small, but his talent is there. That's the thing about this business, is it doesn't matter what size you are, doesn't matter what physical condition you're in. You do have to be in condition to run the ropes, do things, but it doesn't matter where you come from, what your background is. It doesn't matter what color you are. It doesn't matter anything. You know what matters is what you can do inside that ring and how you perform and how you can talk and how you can manage yourself. And if you can hold yourself up like a pro, the doors are open everywhere.
Absolutely. And you know, he's not even 21 yet. I mean, and what's going to happen for him as he keeps pushing at this current level? I'm going to call it now. You can look on this a few years down the road. The kid will get a WWE contract. He's that good.
He's calling it right here on Wrestle Talk with Arabbidb3aver first. You heard it right here first, right out of the mouth of Scotty B. Scotty B, now that was a very hard question to answer, and it definitely is worthy of the time that you put into it, but we have to move on, unfortunately. So now that we've mentioned that and got that out of the way, do you guys do fundraisers, promotions, and live events?
We do. We used to, before COVID knocked everybody out, we had live events going all the time, and we were picking those back up. We definitely do fundraisers. We've done several with athletic clubs at high schools. We'd love to do more of those again. We work out a split. Here's the thing. We care about the community, and if we can give back to these schools or groups, then we want to do that. The reason for the split, well, we got to pay for gas. You know, I mean, we really do. Yes, we're in the business because we want to make money and succeed. But fundraisers are a completely different thing. It's about the community. And after we open our new doors coming up in Newport, we're going to have some fundraisers in there. We're going to be doing food and coat drives for the community because there's so many of us, as tight as a family as the School of Morton is and all of our talent. We've all had some struggles. We've had ups and downs with finances and, oh my God, how am I going to pay my rent? I don't have gas to get somewhere. We try to take care of each other. It's a long, hard road. And East Tennessee is hit just as bad as anywhere else. And so absolutely, any groups that are interested in doing a fundraiser with us, reach out. Happy to talk to you. You can reach out to our SOM 505 Facebook page or reach out to me personally. And I'm more than happy to speak with you one-on-one about that. And if you're interested in having us for a live event, not a fundraiser. You just want us to come to your town, and you know a person who can help us get there, like a building, because I don't know every building in this country. I don't know where to go all the time. Let us know. We're happy to get out there. We want to hit the road a little bit more this coming year. There's quite a few places we're working on, including Virginia Beach. We have a show we're working on there. Back to North Carolina. December 14th, we have Ring Wars Carolina out of Lumberton coming over here for round 2 of our brand versus brand. We want to get down to Alabama. We've got some friends down there, and in Arkansas, all the way down to Louisiana. So we're going to try to make the rounds this next year.
That's going to be awesome. Now, you mentioned something right there, and I want to kind of touch on it a little bit. We got to meet and work with Dusty Rhodes before he passed away.
Right.
And one of the things that sticks in my mind is he sat me down one time and he said, listen, he said, you got to, I know I'm doing Dusty bad, ain't I?
It's not that bad, actually.
He said, listen, you got something special, son, but what's going to happen is you're going to run into hard times one day. And when you run into hard times one day, you're going to have to rely on somebody else. And it sticks in my head like that. And he said, if you can rely on somebody else, when they hit hard times, son, they're going to try to rely on you. And if you can help them in their time of need, they will always help you in your time of need. And it's hit me like a ton of bricks whenever you were talking like that. Everybody goes through something in this business, and we don't always have the opportunity to excel where we want to be because of financial issues or family issues or problems that are going on mentally, physically, emotionally. There's always something going on with somebody. But as you said, with a tight group net family works crap out. It doesn't matter what the problems are. Family works crap out, and they take care of each other, and they take care of their own. And that was the biggest thing Dusty ever said to me that made the hardest impact. And he lit up like a Christmas tree whenever he was talking to me, like I'm doing right now, because I can see his face. I still see his face when he was talking to me about it. And he looked just like a brand new Christmas tree, because I asked him, Dusty, what am I going to do when it hits, when stuff hits? And it was just there. The knowledge was there. Virgil had it. The knowledge was running out of him. And the same thing's going to apply to everybody that's out there watching. Whenever you hit hard times, you want some people to have your back. You want some people in the industry to have your back that you know are going to help you. And we know the School of Morton is that place. They help a lot of people out. I've heard lots of stories of people who had nowhere else to go, and they called and they made an appointment and they set themselves up. And the next thing they know, they were booked. They had stuff happening for them. They had to work for it. They had to do a little things here and there, things that they didn't want to do, but they had to do it. But if they proved that they were going to work, it worked for them, and they made sure that they got it. Mr. Scotty, I've got to move on just a little bit.
Sure.
What about merchandise? Do you all have any merchandise that you want to sell?
We have tons of it. Of course, I don't have it all sitting in my den because that's not quite how I do. But a lot of our wrestlers do have merch, of course, online, different places. I'd be remiss if I didn't tell you that Ricky and Carrie and AJ's and Casey's merchandise is on the NWA merchandise website, right? So you've got stuff like that. We also have one of our great gear makers and merch makers who's making shirts for a lot of people. You're going to see a lot of more of these coming around. And if you want some of them, especially the new SOM shirts, let us know. We're happy to take care of that for you. Plus, who doesn't?
Scotty B, baby.
I have my own shirt,
right.
y'all. I mean, what? Why do I get a shirt? I don't know, because it's funny. The best thing about that was I was wearing that, or it might have been the SOM shirt at an event in North Carolina, and a bunch of the guys were there with me, and we only had a handful of shirts, right, because they were brand new, and they had sold out, and a guy tried to buy it off me, soaked in sweat. I'm like, yeah, no, that's gross. I appreciate you as a wrestling fan, but that's gross. You're not buying a sweaty shirt off me. I'll get you a clean one. Let me get you an address. But whatever.
That's crazy. He wanted to buy the wet shirt right off your back.
It was gross. It was stuck to me. Nobody wants that.
He did, apparently. I mean, is the money really going to be worth it at that point? Would you feel dirty about taking it?
No, I'll take the money, but okay.
All right, we touched briefly on it, but if someone is wanting to break into the business and get a good start with a great foundation and a solid booking experience, why should they choose the School of Morton?
You know, we're fully aware of all the different schools out there. Okay. And the expertise that a lot of these schools have. It's amazing. Cody Rhodes has his school, right? We know about that. Booker T's got his school. Flatbacks down in Florida. Natty's got a school up north. To me, two of the best schools in the country are right here. JPWA with Dr. Tom and Kane, and the School of Morton from Ricky Morton. The one thing we do that's a little bit different, okay? And I'm definitely, guys, to wherever you're at, I want you to go where it's comfortable and financially feasible for you. One thing that the School of Morton does is we pride ourselves on not being in the super top tier of the cost, because any wrestler can tell you it costs a ton of money to get into this business. You will spend tons of money before you ever make a dollar of profit. And that's something that's important to us. Ricky is one of the best teachers out there, especially with tag team wrestling. He has so much knowledge, and he'll tell you a funny story while he's doing it, but he has so much knowledge. Kinsey Page, tons of knowledge. Also trained by Dr. Tom. So we're never going to have anything bad to say against them. The biggest thing is going to be, yes, cost is important, and it's always going to be. And for anyone who maybe is trained somewhere else and you're already trained, you don't have to come to Monday, Wednesdays, but we have training that's going to be on Thursdays, and some weekends you can drop in for $20 for a session and train with us, whoever guest is there, and really kind of keep building the community and becoming well-rounded with all of that. I definitely want to put the financial aspect out there, because, I mean, doing what you do, it ain't cheap.
Well, we go everywhere. So we're going to be at Exodus Pro here in a couple of weeks. We're going to be at World League Wrestling here in a few weeks, and we have to drive. We have to pay all that out of pocket. Everything comes out of pocket whenever we move. We're also going to be in Tampa at the NWA tapings. I mean, we're all over the place. We're all over America, all over the place, and we're moving all the time. And just to host a radio show, I mean, you don't think about, you have to pay a streaming service, then you have to pay the radio fees, then you have to pay the podcasting fees. There's all sorts of stuff that goes into it. And like you said, you pay a ton of money before you even make $1 back. And that's the truth. You have to get your following up. You have to get people that really are interested in you, that really love wrestling, and they have to look at you and say, that kid's got something special. And that's the truth of it, is if you have something special, the fans are going to let you know, and they're going to appreciate you. They're going to get your merch. They're going to want autographs. They're going to want to come to your table and take pictures, but you have to prove it to the, and this even goes for heels. So you have to say, like, we're living in 2024. Even heels deserve to be at that table, whether you're a heel or not. Get out there at that table and sell your merchandise and take pictures with your friends, with your fans, because that might be the only opportunity that you get to make a fan for life. And you never know that. And if you crap it away, they might tell 10 people, you don't want to go see this guy. He's just going to snub you.
Exactly.
You know? And that's the truth of it.
And to tie this in, and I'm going to try to do a big full swoop here, because I'm watching the comments come up too. Yes, if you guys want merchandise, obviously come to our shows, come see us where we're at, or you can go to Facebook, keeping tabs on it. That's our gear maker. She can get stuff for you. Even if we don't have one made, you want one of your wrestlers' shirts from SOM, she'll make it for you. Second thing, I did see in there, are we going to be at WrestleCade this year? And that answer is yes. This is the first year SOM gets to participate in WrestleCade. On Friday night of WrestleCade, we have, are you ready for this? Now see if I can remember this off the top of my head here. We have the Industry there all weekend. I would almost say bring whipped cream pie for Sean Cruz. He'll get me, but I'm just saying. Hunter's with him, so you got to be careful there. They will be there all weekend, taking pictures, selling merch, talking to you. And then at the SOM table, we have, you're going to love this pairing, Friday night, Evan Golden and Casey Kazana.
Together?
Together.
Oh, that's going to be priceless.
It's going to be fun. I'm going to be there too. I'm pretty sure I have to stand between them. Because I don't know what's going to happen.
I was about to say, you're going to have to put somebody in between them like Spike Dudley that's going to be able to take it.
I'm not getting into all that. On Saturday, all day there is going to be Ice Cream Truck, Dump Truck, and Squeaks the Clown. And on Saturday, we've got Blade Gibson and Tyler Shoup. They will be with us. Well, yes, I'm sorry. EC Dangerously will be there with me as well. So one of us will bodyguard one, and I'll use EC Dangerously as a shield.
You better watch it, EC. They might put you through a table out there with that feud that's going on.
Not mine. It's their money.
That's awesome. That's extremely great. So you've got a lot of stuff planned. You got a lot of stuff booked. We touched briefly on it. Wanting to take a break into the business, getting somebody started here. We also were talking about what's going on for you here in the future. We're just about all out of time here tonight. Is there anything that you'd like to say to anybody watching?
No, not necessarily. It's funny. It's funny because, you know, as an actor, as a TV person or whatever, wrestling industry, you think we always have, oh, I just want to say this. I'm not in the feud right now. I'm not fighting anybody yet. I mean, give me a couple weeks. I'm sure something, I don't know. But the big thing is, hey, fans, we love your support. Check us out on YouTube, YouTube channel at Ricky Morton. Subscribe. One of the best ways you can help us, I'm going to give you two, is not just subscribe to our YouTube page, which you see behind me. Become a member. It's $4.99 a month, okay? All of our PLEs going forward are all going to stay on members only. It's just a way to help pay our bills, okay? We need it so much because we thrive on that to keep bringing you new stuff and new product. The second thing is if you're a local business in East Tennessee or outside of the region, that's fine. And you want to sponsor School of Morton, there are a couple ways you can do that. You can reach out for me for information. We've got sponsorships for shows, big events, annual sponsors, or if you want to help a wrestler break into the industry and really get that training, we're doing scholarships too. And that's just something to help really keep everyone's costs down. And we need the help with that. I'm out raising money a lot. I'm talking to people pretty constantly about it. And we can use everyone's help. If you love wrestling as much as we do, and as much as Ricky Morton does, consider that gift. And Shooting Star.
Absolutely.
Oh my God.
All right, now you've touched on everything that we've wanted to go over, but briefly, can you go back over all of your next bookings that are going to be taking place within the next couple months, and that way everybody can catch up with you? Absolutely.
So we did have a show tomorrow night. That's canceled due to the flood. I'm going to tell you about that again in a second. The very first thing of October 4th, 5th, and 6th, if you're a pro wrestler in the area, we've got Mike Quackenbush coming in for 8
That's right.
individual classes. And I'm telling you guys, if you've never watched Till We Make It on YouTube or met Mike, you're in for a treat. He has so much knowledge. It is limited to no more than 16 people per class. It's really cheap. The link's on our Facebook page. And by cheap, I mean value. I mean, you're in a 90-minute in-ring class for $25. Who does that? Mike, because he cares.
He's
then
the only
Halloween, October 31st, we will be back to Hendersonville to actually do Overdrive. November 3rd will be Fright Night at our very new building in Newport, Tennessee. December 14th will be us versus Ring Wars Carolina. And then the whole new year starts it over.
Absolutely. Now, I've got it pulled up on your YouTube page here for Mike Quackenboss as well. If you'll give me just a second, I'll show you a little bit of that. That way you guys can see that they are telling you the truth, because he's taking it directly to the School of Morton. And I want you guys to know that everything that we're telling you is the truth. It is gospel. So Mike Quackenboss right here off of their page. If I click the back button here to go back to Facebook, School of Morton 505 is going to be welcoming him for news and tours on all 3 dates. Definitely come on in and check them out, guys, because if you're wanting to break into the business, you're wanting to learn, you need some knowledge, you need somebody to help you, this is the best way that you can get going right there directly from that. Get somebody that can help you, that's got it in the business, that's been there. And you know Quackenboss has a huge following on YouTube as well. With that following, he has lots of videos to tell you where to get your gear, who can you order it from, what type of people do you want to surround yourself with inside the business, where do you want your mindset to be going match to match, how to talk to promoters to get yourself booked better, how to make sure that you're involving yourself with them. And that's going to be an excellent piece of knowledge to have coming from one of the best in the business currently. So I definitely am 100% a fan of Quackenbush. He's actually got to train and work with one of my favorite wrestlers, Cabana Man Dan, out of New South Pro Wrestling. And I'm telling you, the man is just a wealth of knowledge. So, guys, he's telling you the truth.
He is. I mean, he's responsible in large part for Chad Gable, Alexa Bliss. I mean, and he's a smaller guy too. He knows what it takes to push and make it through this. So there are a few spots for some classes open. It's about to be your last chance. And
yeah, get them now.
I want you there.
Absolutely. Get them now. 100%. Go out there and go to their website off facebook.com. Type in SOM505. Look them up. Scroll down just a little bit. It was posted yesterday. It was also posted the day before, and you could find where they're doing the tours right there directly. That's right.
Many times.
So definitely. Well, Mr. Scotty B, it's been a pleasure having you on today with Wrestle Talk with Arabbidb3aver. We would love to have you come back sometime in the future and be with us, talk a little bit more wrestling with us, and maybe even come on into the studio and be with us one day. We would love that for you. I definitely don't want you to miss any opportunities that you all have out there watching the School of Morton. He's told you exactly where to go to find them, and especially with that new match or the new matches that will be taking place in impromptu Overdrive that got canceled on the 31st. You definitely don't want to miss Buff Bagwell when they come for the School of Morton. So you definitely want to get out there and be a part of this. And don't forget to hit a like and subscribe to Ricky Morton on their YouTube, and definitely go ahead and become one of their Prime members there and subscribe monthly. $4.99 monthly is what it's going to cost you. $5. So you're talking about a cup of coffee a day, guys, is what you're giving up. A regular cup of coffee a day to get you some good wrestling. Why don't you go ahead and do that? Mr. Scotty B, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you.
Pleasure.
And I definitely would love to have you back sometime.
Absolutely. Good talking with you.
All right. Bye-bye, sir. All right, that is going to end us today. And before we go, I want to let you guys know that on buzzsprout.com, which is our radio podcast, we will have this out tonight. And tomorrow it's going to be going to Spotify, Tune In with Alexa, LinkedIn. It's going to be going everywhere tomorrow night. So definitely get out there and check that out. Share it with all your friends. Make sure that they know that it's Wrestle Talk with Arabbidb3aver. And if you guys want to be a Prime subscriber to us, you can do it at http://WrestleTalkWithArabbidb3aver.buzzsprout.com is how you do it. For $3 a month, you can get that and help support us. Also, guys, I have to mention this before we go. Let me see if I can get it to pop up for me. It was being a little picky with me earlier, and that's just something here. If you guys want to know what mic I'm using and want to know how much money to spend on it, you can go ahead and scan that QR code at the bottom of your screen. Give AJ Becerra a call at Sweetwater today, 800-222-4700, extension 13. $14.25. He'll get you hooked up with this nice blue Yeti, and you guys can get going from there. If you guys want to donate to us, you can do that directly off this QR code here or this QR code here. Either one, go ahead and scan that in and give us our direct donation today for that. And we also have Wrestle Talk with Arabbidb3aver merch, just like this beautiful polo that I'm wearing here. I have a lot more. I have hoodies, I have raincoats, I have lots of stuff, baseball tees, all sorts of stuff. Go ahead and scan that bad boy in right there and get you some Wrestle Talk with Arabbidb3aver merch. Now, before we go, I want to thank each and every one of you guys for coming in and being here with us. It's definitely been a pleasure to have each and every one of you come in. And don't forget, every Tuesday and Thursday, 8 p.m., unless otherwise posted on Facebook.com, we have Wrestle Talk with Arabbidb3aver, and you guys heard it right here first. Thank you guys so much. Y'all have a wonderful evening. Bye-bye.